All right, everyone. Thanks and welcome back. Sorry about that. We had some technical difficulties on the first try, but we're going to go ahead and do something a little bit different. We're going to go in reverse order now because we had some of our live viewers watching in, so they don't have to sit through the whole thing all over again. We're going to go in reverse order of the slate and take you from the last game, the Monday night game, all the way to the first game. So we'll try and get through this as fast as we can and get you some value here. So. Starting off with the Monday night game, we have the Giants versus the Eagles. Philadelphia is favored by 4. Kyle, what do you think about this game?
I love some Eli Manning here. I love some ODB. And on the other side of the ball, I like Sam Bradford, and I don't like Jordan Matthews this week.
No, yeah, I don't like him or his drops at all. But yeah, I'm with you in all these three. Both of these teams also play in the top 5 pace of play in the NFL. So Eagles and Giants. I think this is going to be another fast-paced game full of fantasy goodness. If ODB or Randall have to sit out for any reason, they're both questionable. ODB has a hamstring. I'm not sure what's wrong with Randall other than being terrible. Shane Vereen can make for a great GPP play. They will be forced. They've already said that they will use him at wideout, especially on PPR sites. So I'm pretty sure he's got a great price. I wouldn't hesitate to fire him up.
Yep. Prince Makamura on Jordan Matthews. Stay away from that.
Prince is out.
Is he out?
Yeah, he's out 2 to 3 weeks.
Then I might play some Jordan Matthews.
Yeah.
One thing about Jordan Matthews is he is cheap, at least on FanDuel. He's priced at 6,600. Probably will see a lot of targets. The interesting thing as well in this game is that the over/under is 49 with a spread of 4. So it should be a close game, high-scoring game, probably a lot of offense here. So definitely worth.
Yeah, this is also one of my favorite games. It's just tough to know where it's coming from, and the guys are pretty expensive in this game.
True.
Yeah. Also, the Giants have been allowing some pretty big games to tight ends, but which Philadelphia tight end are you gonna pick? It could be Ertz, could be Selleck. I saw Selleck had a few more targets than Ertz last week, but then Ertz got targeted in the red zone. He didn't come away with a touchdown, or he didn't, did he? Not
Brent Selleck last week he did.
No, not Selleck, Ertz.
I'm not sure.
Yeah. So they play them both. I'm not sure which one you would want to go with. I guess you could take a flyer on one. That they're priced super cheap on DraftKings. They are in a spot to have a great week. So they could make for a great play.
Okay.
Agreed.
Moving on to the Sunday night game, we have the Patriots versus the Colts. Patriots are favored by 10, and the over and under is 54.5. What do we think here, guys?
All the Patriots.
Yeah, absolutely. All the Patriots. I saw a stat on Andrew Luck. He's 0 for 4 against the Patriots with terrible stats. I think he has a 2 interception to each touchdown ratio, which is terrible. Devontae Freeman touchdown, baby.
Oh, that's awesome. I actually saw earlier in the day, like late in the afternoon, that he was very questionable. Now I'm seeing that he will play. So especially with him not being healthy, I think this is a good spot for the Patriots defense as well. Andrew Luck he is interception prone, fumble prone. We saw last year in the AFC Championship game, he fumbled and threw a pick. So
yeah, I think the Patriots get up early, which is a reason I like some LeGarrette Blount here. Looks like he's the closer when they're up. They're looking to pound the ball away with him. I could see him getting more carries than Deion Lewis this week.
Dude, did you see the stats? The Patriots, how many times they've ran it the last 4 meetings versus the Colts?
An insane amount.
Almost 40 times a game. Like, I mean, they're going to want to just shove it down their throats. There's also the whole Deflategate narrative. The Colts started, rumored to have started Deflategate, and Tom Brady being on his FU tour, 2015. I think I want a Tom Brady FU tour T-shirt. Just jump on the bandwagon, man. I mean, why not? Let Angry Tom eat. I think that they're just gonna try to embarrass them in all facets of the game, special teams, defense.
I also heard there was a couple billboards in Indianapolis talking about the Deflategate with Tom Brady on the billboards. So that's not good for the Colts.
They didn't learn from the Cowboys. Who was that was talking about Giselle last week? Defensive player for the Cowboys, idiot, said something about I hope.
Greg Hardy. Greg Hardy actually had a great game though. If you watch that game, yeah.
He did. He did ball out, but nobody else came to play with him.
Yeah.
Poor Greg. But yeah, you don't want to make Tom mad. I mean, he's obviously angry. Patriots going to eat. They're going to jump out to the lead early, like you said. I like Blunt. I actually still like Lewis. They did give him that contract extension. They didn't give that to him. They didn't pay the man to not use him. I think both of these backs here could get 20 touches.
Yeah, absolutely.
If I could roster the whole Patriots offense, I would. I mean, Brady's in a great matchup. The Colts are giving up the fourth most passing yards per game. The Patriots in general, for the last 4 games they've played, have scored over 40 points in each game. LeGarrette Blount, the last game that he played against the Colts, he had rushed 30 times for 148 yards and 3 touchdowns. The Patriots are going to be ahead. They're going to score. LeGarrette Blount's going to get a lot of carries. If I could, like I said, roster the whole team, I would. Gronk's a great player in this one. Like you said, Lewis, Edelman, I'd roster them all.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, man. That's why this is a game or a week why I like playing on DraftKings a little bit more, because you can roster them all on DK.
Yeah. Right. Anybody from the Colts?
I like Dante Moncrief. He gets a lot of targets when Andrew Luck is the quarterback. He's going to get a lot of targets. They're going to be passing a lot. And he's still super cheap on both sides.
Yeah, they're going to be playing from behind as well, and I believe Ty is a little banged up. So
groin issue.
Yep, he's got a groin. So look out for that. Moncrief could have a huge game. Patriots pass D is nothing to be scared of.
Right.
Benjamin freaking Watson.
Took him out of my GPPs.
22 points so far.
Fantastic. Did you play him?
No.
All right, let's move on.
Yep, so play the Patriots. Next game we have Baltimore versus San Francisco. So I'll mute my comments about San Francisco and let you guys take over.
Battle of the bad. I love me some Joe Flacco, but it all depends on if Steve Smith is playing. I'm not playing Flacco without Steve Smith, and then if Steve Smith plays, he's a great play as well.
This is also another. We talked about a game earlier. I forgot what game that was. That had a low over under. Oh, Chicago and Detroit. We talked about that game. 2 terrible defenses facing off against one another. This is a low over under here, 44. Battle of two terrible defenses. I wouldn't mind stacking this game in a GPP. Really, both sides of it could go off. Kaepernick.
I thought I'd never see the Ravens defense and the 49ers defense be terrible in my lifetime.
It's pretty crazy how things change, but
yeah.
I think both sides of the ball are here in play here, and Justin Forsett hasn't practiced all week. He's been dealing with that ankle issue, so
he's their only running back.
No, he's not.
Pharaoh just went on the IR.
Yes, they have
Buck Allen.
Buck Allen. Yep. So they're saying Forsett's still going to play, but he's yet to practice. I would really want to see him practice tomorrow before I went out and rostered him. He's definitely productive. He's going to be involved in the passing game. I could see this game actually being close. Now Baltimore's favored by 2 points, so I wouldn't have a problem rostering anybody from this game. And if you're looking for a low-key GPP play, just take a kicker from this game. I know we had that GPP kicker question last week, so there you go, guys.
I actually think this is a decent game for GPPs. I could see Kaepernick, throwing the ball quite a bit. I don't trust it for cash, but and then also who's he going to throw to? You've got Torrey Smith and Anquan Holden.
Super cheap.
Torrey,
So tempting.
He's men's salary on DraftKings. Men's salary. Torrey Smith versus old team. There's a revenge narrative there. I mean, he's going to look to get in the end zone. So, like I said, stack this game up for GPPs. It's got a 44 over/under. I think a lot of people will stay away just because it's the battle of the bad. But man, there's a lot of good fantasy potential here.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to a better game here. We've got Chargers versus the Packers. Packers favored 10.5, over under 50.
This is gonna be a fun game to watch. All the Packers and Antonio Gates.
Yep, I can definitely get behind that. This is I want to play. This is a great spot for Eddie Lacy. This is a great spot for him versus one of the 31st ranked defense in the league versus the run. Just the Packers have not been using him enough. I don't know if he's not fully healthy, if he's still dealing with that ankle issue, or if he's just fat, eating too many Snickers on the sidelines. I don't know.
He's got a few ailing injuries that just seem to be there every week. I think they do get up early, and I think they shy away from him and give him some rest and use Starks.
Yeah, they're at home and favored by 10.5, largest favorite on the slate, other than the Patriots. So I could definitely see rostering some Starks in a GPP given his price across the industry. Also, the other side of the ball, I love Gates for cash. His price didn't go up even after his monster performance last Monday night. And Philip Rivers, Packers defense is usually pretty good at home in Lambeau, but Philip Rivers has been lighting it up. So
he has Gates back.
Yep. So I mean, he's gonna throw for possibly at least a couple hundred yards, possibly 3 and a couple touchdowns. So he's not in cash game consideration, but I wouldn't mind throwing him in a GPP.
Definitely.
Yeah, I also like Keenan Allen too. He's still only 7,700. He's number 4 in targets overall in the season. So if they're going to be behind by that much, Rivers is going to have to throw a ball a lot, and be looking towards Keenan Allen.
He's just not the red zone guy anymore, and I hate that.
Yeah.
What about Woodhead? Since they're going to be throwing.
Woodhead hardly played last week, didn't he? I think they're leaning more towards using Gordon more. His snap percentages have gone up every week.
Yeah, he did get a lot of snaps last week, a lot of touches, but I don't know. It'd be something interesting to watch this week for sure with him being behind if they who they play. Woodhead did have some explosive plays last week. He looks good. Like you said, he just didn't get enough touches.
Yeah, I don't think they have very much hope this season, and I do think they look to give Gordon the experience.
Shall see. All right, moving on, we have Carolina versus Seattle. Pat, what do you like from this one?
Man, this is my favorite game to target tight end here. I'm loving Carolina's tight end.
Carolina's tight end, huh? Does he have a name?
Just
Greg Olsen.
Yeah, Greg Olsen. The score just popped up on my phone of the Mets game. Yeah, Greg Olsen, man. And Kyle pointed out last week that the Seahawks are very stout on the corners, on the ends, so that they can be exposed down the middle. And Tyler Eifert showed that this past week. Tyler Eifert had a huge game. Greg Olsen is second in the league tight end targets per game. with Carolina running so much read option with Cam, they're going to look to just do a play action and then roll him and Greg Olsen out. This is a great spot for Olsen.
Yeah, I love Olsen. Just wish Cam wasn't throwing the ball.
I'm with you there. What about you, Kyle?
Greg Olsen for me. Definitely love that play. That's really about it. I don't see using anybody on the Seahawks side of the ball.
I definitely don't either, especially let's say Marshawn Lynch could be back this week. He's at home. Carolina's defense has been vulnerable against the run. However, they do get Luke Kuechly back this week, who is just a monster. He's a defensive beast, so I'm not going to go anywhere near Lynch and his injuries.
Yeah.
I think the defenses are in play in this one as well, more on the Seattle side of it. They're favored by about 7, and the over-under is 40. So I think Seattle probably an obvious play here at the same time, but I think Seattle D is pulling the target this week.
Yes, definitely.
All right, let's keep moving on. We got Miami versus Tennessee. Who are you liking from this game?
Miami and Tennessee. Delaney Walker, don't love him, like him. That's it from this game.
Yeah, this is one of those games where it's kind of boring. It's low over under 43. You just really don't know what's going to happen from the Miami side of the ball. They got a new coach. They fired Philbin in their bye week, so they said there's going to be some changes made. We don't know what those changes are yet. So until we see, I would like to think that they're going to come out and be what we thought they were going to be in preseason and be a little bit more of an explosive offense. I don't know. They have thrown the ball the most of any team in the percentage of snaps. That I believe they have over 60% of passing attempts per snap in the league. So that leads the NFL. But there's just nothing here that you can just peg down and trust from a fantasy perspective.
Yeah, I agree.
I think Lamar Miller is interesting from a tournament play just because he's low priced and the coaches kind of come out and said he's going to try and get him involved more. But from a cash standpoint, like you said, we don't know what that's going to be and what that's going to look like, but maybe something worth throwing into a tournament or two.
Yep.
Okay. All right, moving right along. We have the Arizona Cardinals favored 3.5 against Pittsburgh with the over/under of 44. What jumps out?
Oh man,
Carson Palmer.
Yeah.
Larry Fitzgerald.
John Brown as well. Got to mention John Brown. He's always a threat to catch the long ball, take it all the way.
He's a great GPP pivot.
All it takes is one play for John Brown to have a good week.
Absolutely.
Yeah, same for me as well. Carson Palmer, I think it's a great play all around. They're going to put up some points here, and Carson Palmer to Fitzgerald. I think that's the way it's going to be.
Also, I love this spot for Arizona defense. I think Mike Vick got super lucky last week against the Chargers. He threw several balls that should have been picked. So Arizona defense sets up nicely for a pick six here. And Antonio Brown with the old squeaky wheel narrative, he's come out publicly and said, for Mike to give him the ball more. We just don't know if the Pittsburgh's coaching staff is gonna listen to him. I do think Antonio Brown, he's still great, one of the best receivers in the NFL. He's a great player. He'll have super low ownership in GPPs. He still does return punts, so that's one way he could get you production. I wouldn't mind taking a flyer on Antonio Brown in a GPP because if he's the type of player that could just go off at any moment. So he'll be super low owned. So if he does go off, then you're going to eliminate a lot of the field.
Yep.
Agreed. All right, so next game we have is Washington versus the New York Jets. Jets are favored by 6 with a over/under of 40.5. So there should be some interesting plays on the Jets side of the ball. What do you guys think?
I love Brandon Marshall. Love him this week.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. I'm all over him as well. Washington's leaky secondary. Definitely a great matchup for him, and he's getting heavy targets, double digit each week. We've seen teams each week not be able to really run on Washington. They do slow the game down a little bit, but however, teams have had success through the air versus them. So sets up to be a great spot for Brandon Marshall and the Jets defense, man. They are, gosh, I think they're like 4th versus the run and the top 10 versus the pass as well. Here you have the Redskins on the road, Kirk Cousins on the road. We know he can throw interceptions left and right, so fire up the Jets defense. I think they make for a great pivot off of the Broncos and some of the other higher-priced defenses out there. Seattle.
Definitely. Do you guys know if Djax and Jordan Reed are still out?
Jordan Reed has yet to practice, so he's looking like he's going to be out. They have said that Djax could come back this week, so definitely keep an eye on that. But if Reed is still out, we saw Carrier got a touchdown.
It would take both of them coming back for me to get off the Jets defense, and I would still like the Jets defense.
Yeah, it would have to take both of them. But yeah, you're right. But Derek Carrier, he's still near min salary. He got caught a touchdown last week, so he could get some production at a low cost for you.
Yeah, Jets are definitely my favorite defensive call of the week. And Pat, you mentioned about the Redskins being a little difficult against the run, but I do like Chris Ivory here. Just he's somewhat low price, 7,300 is not too bad. He averages 22 touches per game. I could see this a type of game where maybe he doesn't rack up a ton of yardage, but gets some goal line carries and score some touchdowns. So I do like Chris Ivory in this game.
Yeah, he's definitely going to get a lot of carries, but I think Kyle said it earlier. He's definitely going to have to get you a touchdown in order to pay off value.
Yeah. All right, moving on to Chicago and Detroit, one of my least favorite games, but anything that sticks out to you guys?
Megatron. I love Megatron this week. People are going to be off of him. He's going to be super low owned. Finally gets a good matchup. You know the guy's just dying to be Megatron again.
Yeah. I think we all are.
Yeah. Yeah, man. If you like Megatron, then you got to like Matt Stafford too, right?
No.
I like him as a GPP pivot on DraftKings. He's 5,300. He's almost minimum salary. I'm not gonna, spend maybe in like a quarter arcade or something like that, or a free roll. But he's at home against the Bears defense. Also, the other side of the ball, Jay Cutler as well. He's got a great matchup. Nothing for cash here for me though.
No, but from a GPP standpoint, the Bears. I mean, somebody's going to have to score for the Bears, and Forte. He averages 24 touches per game. And the other thing that I saw that when Cutler's in at quarterback, Bennett is responsible for 11% of the offensive workload. So he definitely likes to target Bennett, and I like both those plays from a GPP standpoint. But yeah, no cash plays here.
What about what's the status of Alshon Jeffrey and Eddie Royal? Does anybody know?
I remember last week Alshon was supposed to come back this week. I just haven't looked into it at all. I usually don't look into injury reports until about Friday or Saturday because they never release anything anyway throughout the week.
Yeah, that's still what I've been seeing. If he comes back, he's got a great matchup and he's going to get double-digit targets easily. He could make a play. He could make a cash game play. But if he sits and Eddie Royal sits, Marquez Wilson's still super cheap. I wouldn't mind playing him, as a salary saver in cash and GPPs.
Martellus Bennett, if those two sit, You got to look towards Martellus Bennett.
You would think so. That's what a lot of people would think. But he put up a dud last week.
It's a way easier matchup this week, though.
Yeah.
True. I agree.
Okay, moving on to a game actually I like a lot more. We have Houston versus Jacksonville, which is an even line and a over/under 43. What you guys think about this one?
It's my favorite game. A lot of cheap, great plays. On the Jacksonville side, I love the combo of Blake Bortles and Allen Robinson. I also love Allen Hurns. Can't forget about Julius Thomas. We all know what he's capable of.
Take the over in this game. Both of these defenses are terrible. I think this is going to be a shootout. DeAndre Hopkins, #1 PPR wide receiver play, in my opinion, just with his targets. I mean, dude's been reaching value without scoring touchdowns. The Jags D is kind of been mislabeled as a good matchup for running backs. They're actually only allowing a little over 3 yards per carry. With Arian Foster touching the ball as much as he does, and these two teams being top 10 in the NFL of pace of play, they're going to look to get Foster involved, whether it be on the ground or the passing game. Both of those guys are in play for me, even though it's typically a negative EV move to roster a running back and a receiver from the same team. But, man, I love them both.
Two of my favorite plays.
I agree.
I think Hopkins was doing great with Mallet, but even with Warrior last week, he had 11 catches for 169 yards. So they look good together, and I think moving forward, I think they'll continue to look good together. I mean, he's averaging over 15 targets per game, so it's amazing that he's not the top valued wide receiver yet. So he's climbing up there, though. He's getting there.
Yeah, it's crazy.
What about on the Jags side of the ball?
Blake Bortles.
Yeah.
He's severely underpriced for what production he's been given, and Allen Robinson's been his #1 target. I think they're just going to eat against this terrible Houston secondary.
I agree. And Allen Robinson, it's priced at 6,700 on FanDuel. He's getting 10 targets per game. That's super cheap. I mean, if you look at his numbers compared to some of the other receivers out there, those guys are priced, high 7s, low 8s, and he's still priced at 6,700. So I say grab him while you can.
Yep, last chance to buy low, and these targets aren't checkdowns either. These are a lot of deep throws, which we love.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I'm not really big on T.J. Yeldon, even though Houston has given up a lot of points to the run. I just don't know what his health is in question. But everyone in the passing game for the Jags is in play, in my opinion.
Exactly.
Okay, next game we have the Chiefs versus the Vikings. Vikings are favored by 4, over under 44. I think this is kind of an unfortunate game to target against the Chiefs because typically I'd like to target against the Chiefs pass game, but in this case it's Bridgewater with no wide receivers, so not the greatest matchup.
They don't pass either. I think they have 3 play calls in their entire playbook that are designed to pass, not to AP.
Yeah, it's a waste of a dream matchup here. I mean,
anything that
who do you
stands out
take?
to you?
Man, not a whole lot here other than Adrian Peterson. I mean, they're gonna the last few weeks they've been giving him the rock at least 20 times per game, whether it be on the ground or through the air. I believe that as he goes, their offense goes. I know that this isn't the greatest matchup for him, but just as a pure-based volume play, man, and we all know if Adrian Peterson gets the ball and gets going, 20 times a game, and we all know what he's capable of. So he's in play in all formats, in my opinion.
Yep. Vikings D, definitely in play as well.
Yeah. I think the standout to me, I think the standout to me is the Vikings defense. I think they're going to continue to
Yep. Vikings D, definitely in play as well.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's something else. A good correlation there. Firing up a team's running back and their defense. If you think they're going to get up to a lead, that means their defense is probably going to be doing some good stuff. So if you want to pair those guys up with AP, then I would not talk you off of it for sure.
Yeah, I think it's interesting to look at the Chiefs running backs just because they're going to be so low priced, and when Charles is in there, the running back position was utilized so much. So I think it's hard to just completely abandon the running game. But I don't think they're great plays in this spot, but they're just so low priced that you might need to use one of them, especially in GPPs, to roster some of your better guys.
Yeah.
Charkandrick West is 4K on DraftKings. Definitely severely underpriced. But like you said, we just don't know how it's going to look yet. And plus, it's also a bad matchup as well. So
when I was watching that game, Andy Reid came out and said Charkandrick West was only a number 2 running back because he was the same type of runner as Jamal Charles. But Niles Davis was actually the true number 2.
Very interesting.
All right, let's move on to Bengals and Bills. We have the Bengals favored by 3.5 with an over/under of 42. So we like Andy Dalton in this game?
Love Andy Dalton. Red Rifle. Bills have been kind of a funnel defense. They've got a stout front seven. I mean, they are a good defense. I think their fantasy stats versus the pass are a little skewed just based on who they've played. But NFL teams have been throwing 60% of the time versus the Bills for the tune of 300 yards and a couple TDs per game. So this sets up very nicely here for a good spot Andy Dalton. And why is he still 5.7K on DraftKings? He's the number 1 scoring fantasy quarterback in the NFL.
He's still bad, Andy.
Yeah.
But not to take anything away from him and what he's doing this year, but he has in my opinion, the best receiving core in Eifert, Green, Sano, Marvin Jones. I love that offense. He's also got Giovanni Bernard and Jeremy Hill.
Yeah, this is also a good spot for Bernard as well, because I don't think they're going to be able to just line up and run it down their throats with Jeremy Hill. He's definitely their red zone back. But full PPR sites. I love Giovanni Bernard. Love Tyler Eifert, and this could be a game. I think the Buffalo Bills secondary doesn't really have one player that stands out to me. They play a lot of zone coverage. This could be a game where A.J. Green is just open all day. So they could be feeding him. Eifert's a great play as well. Probably lean more towards Green just based off of the targets and the history with Dalton. But I like all three of them: Dalton, Green, and Eifert.
Absolutely.
I also like the Bengals D here, especially if E.J. Manuel ends up being the starter. He's been known to turn the ball over. Plus, the Bills' running backs are banged up as well. So, for a low price, I think the Bengals is a pretty good play here.
I agree. If E.J. Manuel starts, for sure.
Yeah. Okay, let's go to the last game that we have on the slate. It is Denver versus Cleveland. What do you guys think of this last matchup here?
Denver defense and Emmanuel Sanders.
This is another waste of a dream matchup here. The Broncos running game, and as terrible as it's been this year, versus the Cleveland run defense. I mean, I want to roster somebody, but who is it? C.J. Anderson, Ronnie Hillman. For all I know, they could bring up Monty Ball back and sign him and play him this week. I will. They are pretty underpriced, but I will throw C.J. or Hillman in a GPP. But anyway, I'm not touching it in cash.
I agree.
Yeah, I kind of like Peyton Manning in this scenario here. I know his fantasy numbers aren't huge, but I think it's because he hasn't been throwing for a lot of touchdowns. He has been throwing quite a bit, and he's going against a team that gives up the 5th most fantasy points to quarterbacks. So I think this is an opportunity for him to Score some touchdowns. I think Demaryius Thomas will score some. I think Emmanuel Sanders. I like all the receiving for the Broncos here in this one.
Demaryius is still hasn't practiced yet this week. He was seen on the sidelines at practice catching some balls, just doing some side work. So anyway, I would just keep your eye on that. But definitely with Emmanuel Sanders being the healthiest one, he's in play in all formats for sure.
Yeah,
For sure.
Anyway, moving on.
Yep, so that takes us through the entire slate here. So now I think we'll go through some of the questions that we've received. If you still have some questions on maybe something we haven't covered, feel free to throw them in now. But to start off with the first question we have here, this is from Albert. The question is, what is the best low-priced running back this week?
Ooh.
Best low-price running back this week. LeGarrette Blount.
Yep. Easily.
Yeah. I think that's a rather easy one this week.
Suspicious item has been detected.
I would also say, Sharkhandrick West. I think, a PPR site with them saying that he's a little bit more like Jamal Charles. That tells me they're going to utilize him like Jamal Charles in the passing game and/or the running game. He's 4K. That's 500 over min salary on DraftKings for a running back. So depending on what we hear leading up until lock, how they're going to utilize these two guys. Sharkhandrick West, he's in play. He could be in play in all formats.
Okay. Let's see. Next question we have here from Jason is, who's the player most likely to get 2 touchdowns this week? I'm assuming he's non-quarterback. What do you guys think?
Most likely to get 2 touchdowns.
LeGarrette Blount again?
Man, that's tough. I feel like there's a lot of players. I'm gonna go with Hopkins.
Hopkins is in a good spot. With Green Bay and New England being in such good spots there, I would say Randall Cobb.
Yeah, I was actually thinking Lacey in this game. I think he will be in position. I think he's going to get a lot of carries, and I think he'll get some goal line carries too.
I love him. I want to roster him. I'm gonna research some more into why what's going on with his health, why they haven't been using him as much. Kyle told me, what did you say, Kyle? How many percentage of snaps he's been playing? Only like 50% of their snaps or something like that. They've been using Starks quite a bit, so.
Yep.
I want to use him. I really do.
They've really been shying away when they get up early leads too. Once they're in the lead, they play a lot of James Starks.
I have a question here from @JShraps. He says top GPP plays at wide receiver and running back.
We'll go through those at the end. We'll give our favorite play like we always do.
Well, yeah, for cash, but for GPP at running back, I would go with either the Denver Broncos running back. And
I would go Terrence or Niles Davis for a GPP running back.
Still sticking at a wide receiver with my Antonio Brown play.
I'm going Megatron.
Love it.
I'm gonna throw Lamar Miller out there. I think he's so low priced that with the new coach, new system, I think they're gonna try and use him quite a bit in this scenario. Man, for wide receiver, I'd really love to use Steve Smith if he's gonna be healthy.
Yes. Yes.
All right. You guys have any other questions that's popped up on Twitter?
I have quite a few actually.
All
If
right.
you guys are done with all yours.
Yep.
Is Tom Brady a must roster for cash games? Yeah, absolutely. You can't go wrong with Tom Brady. He's going to get you 20, 25.
I don't know. I'm not on him as much as most people just because he's the highest priced quarterback. He's as many times as they've ran the ball in the past versus Indianapolis, and I see them getting up and getting a lead here. I don't see him as a must. Yes, he's a great play. I'm not going to tell you not to play Tom Brady, but I think you could find value elsewhere.
I think it's a great play this week. Anybody on the Patriots, I think, is a great play this week.
I agree.
Next question is West or Davis worth a play in the flex for a DKGP? Yeah, both of them.
Yep, absolutely.
That's an easy one.
Wouldn't play both of them in the same lineup, but yes, both of them. Is Matt Forte a viable option this week?
I think so. I was looking back and looking at that just based off of pure usage, especially if Alshon Jeffrey is out again, then I might think about firing him up in cash games. He's right around the same price in the industry as Arian Foster and a little bit more than guys like Eddie Lacy. With just as many times as he's going to touch the ball, I think he's a good play.
I agree. I love Arian Foster so much more, right around the same price. But if you're going to put both of them in the same lineup, couldn't argue.
Absolutely.
What do you think, Marty?
I agree with that. I think a lot of the offenses run through Forte. I mean, I prefer Foster, but I think Forte is a good play this week as well.
Another Freeman touchdown.
Dang.
Gates or Bennett for cash? Both of them. I like both for cash, especially if Alshon Jeffrey is out, like we said.
Gates.
Yeah,
Gates preferably, but I like both of them.
Yeah, I think on FanDuel, I think the difference is about $300. And Gates is the lower price one, but I mean I think they're both great plays, but I would lean a little more towards Gates, I guess.
Last question. Why is Pat so ugly? I don't know, man. I don't know.
That's actually a myth, kind of like Sasquatch. People, say that and think that, but it is yet to be proven. So, I have one from Mike here. What sub 7K RB will exceed value this week? I'll let you take the FanDuel. I've been researching DraftKings pricing. Deion Lewis is 5.8K on DraftKings. I do think they use Blunt, but like I said earlier, I think both the backs get a ton of volume with them being up by so much. I think Deion Lewis at 5.8K has a great shot to exceed value.
What was the question? What sub 7K running back?
Yeah, sub 7K running back. Yep.
So LeGarrette Blount.
LeGarrette Blount, definitely. And I want to say C.J. Anderson or Ronnie Hillman. Just don't know which one.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, you could look at Buck Allen if he ends up getting the start, and then the Chiefs running backs. But those are really the only ones other than Lamar Miller that are even under 7K on FanDuel.
Ahmad Bradshaw.
Just don't know how much he's going to be used yet. They said they would use him. Is he even in the player pool?
That's a good point. Probably not.
Yeah, he's not. Shane Vereen.
Yeah, Shane Vereen, absolutely. I love him, especially if ODB or Ruben Randall sits, and if both of them sit, I'll probably fire him up in cash games because who else are they going to go to in that offense? Yeah, Shane Vereen, I like him a lot this week, especially with the pace of play in that game.
Yeah.
If I were in Vegas this week, which I'm not, and I probably won't go anytime soon, seeing as how the recent DFS news, I would probably go take a lot of these overs on the slate.
Yeah, definitely. Any more questions, guys?
I think that about does it for this week.
Let me see here. I got a couple. No, I don't actually.
Is Freeman the GOAT? Yes, Freeman is the GOAT.
Oh my gosh, he's an animal. However, Tevin Coleman did bust a pretty nice looking run earlier.
And then fumbled and didn't play the rest of the game.
He fumbled?
Yep.
Oh, I didn't see that. I had to run out. Dang. Sucks for him. Gosh, Freeman. Holy hell.
Congrats to the Mets.
Woo! Yeah.
My
I like the
anthem
Mets.
I love right there.
I've been saying since before the postseason, Mets, Jays, man. Mets, Jays.
Yeah, that was my guess as well.
Go Jays.
Let's move on and wrap this up with our favorite plays at each position.
I'm going to go start off with quarterback. I'm going to go with the red rifle, Dalton.
I'm taking Blake Bortles. I've been on him since last Sunday.
That's gay, man. Dalton, why don't you get a room? Tell your girlfriend, too.
My play for this week, my favorite quarterback is Brady.
Huh.
Everyone loves Brady.
Yep.
How'd you come up with that one?
You know, I flipped a coin.
Angry Tom. Angry Tom came up.
Yeah.
Running backs. Gosh. I'm gonna go Deion Lewis.
Okay, good. Don't steal mine.
I'm gonna go Arian Foster.
Good. I'm gonna go Eddie Lacy.
Oh. Do some more research on that, Marty. Get back to me because I want to play him badly.
I don't need your research. That's my favorite.
I like him a lot too, but I just want to figure out what if they're going to use him. Call up to Lambeau. Figure out if they're going to play him.
Look at his production and usage in the first 5 weeks of last year and the previous year, and then look at what he did the rest of the season.
Oh yeah, he's blown it up the second half. I mean, but they're entering a bye. Their bye's next week.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he still has any health concerns at all. They might kind of like Kyle said, rest him if they get out to a big lead and roll with Starks. So if not, if they're going to let him, if they're going to let him eat, then I want him eating on my team.
Dude, have you seen him?
Barely saw over 50% of the snaps last week, which
Yeah.
at his price scares me.
That's what I'm saying, Marty. Call up to Lambeau. Figure it out. Get back to him.
If he's playing 80% of the snaps, at least, I love him. But the likelihood of that happening is not likely. Wide receiver.
I'm going to go, since I went with the red rifle, I'll go with A.J. Green.
I'm going DeAndre Hopkins.
I love it.
I won't go DeAndre Hopkins. I'll go with Allen Robinson.
Nice.
Hey, Rob. Love that, too. Dude's been he's been eating as well.
Tight end.
I'm gonna go with the guy in the Panthers, the Panther tight end, Mr. Olsen.
Marty?
I'll go with Martellus Bennett.
Nice. I'm going to go Delaney Walker.
I like that. I love that play, man, actually. Especially on DraftKings. Kickers?
Favorite kicker, guys.
Man, actually, I love the Giants kicker, to be honest with you. I think that game's going to be a shootout. It's going to be pretty high scoring. So I do like him. But for defenses, I think we've all let it be known that we love the Jets in this situation.
3 defenses besides the Jets. Go.
I like the Bengals if E.J. Manuel is not, or E.J. Manuel starting.
Kyle?
Vikings.
I like it. I'm gonna go with New England. On the road, favored. I think they're in a great spot. Oh, and my other play, the Cardinals, as well. I don't have any more questions.
All right. Well, I think that about does it for us for this week. We appreciate you guys tuning in, and again, apologize for the technical difficulties if you had to watch some of this twice, but we appreciate you hanging around. If you still have questions, hit us up on Twitter. We'll be more than happy to answer them for you. And again, thank you for tuning in, and best of luck this week in your lineups.
Peace.
Bye, guys.